Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Hi guys, I'm ArchieLuxury and welcome to the series, The ROLEX Rules. Today we're going to discuss the issue, how many Rolexes does an average Rolex AD get each year? That's right guys. Now to answer this question, you've got to understand a few little things here. You need to understand is that Rolex allocates stock based on the size of your store. And this is the reason in some locations, for example, in Sydney, Australia, Hourglass, who already had a very nice boutique with very limited Rolex stock, they decided to open a Rolex boutique in the heart of the city. The reasoning is if they have more floor space, Rolex will allocate more stock to them. Now let's have a look at the numbers indeed here. Now Rolex is a very secretive company. They don't like to give out official numbers or secrets. They're very secretive indeed. Now we've got to use a bit of detective work. Let's have a look at a few things. Let's work a few numbers out and let's work it out. So Rolex themselves they make between 800,000 watches and 1.2 million watches a year. This is generally the figure that industry experts quote. Rolex, of course, is very secretive and never admits or denies nothing. So, because we're just after COVID, let's use the 800,000 figure. Let's just say, at the moment, we've just come through COVID, we'll use the low figure, 800,000. How many dealers are there in the world? Now, Rolex is actually working very hard to close dealers. That's right, they want to reduce the number of dealers and stores. However, the number of dealers is about 1,200 dealers in the world. That's correct. 1,200 retail outlets. Now, if we say, okay, Rolex wants to get less, let's round this down to 1,000 stores, because that's the ideal. Secret people in Rolex headquarters have leaked to me. Rolex aims to be 1,000 points of sale around the world. Now, if we divide 800,000 watches, divide that by 1,000 stores, you know what we get, don't you? You know exactly what we get. 800 pieces of stock per store. Now, obviously, if you've got a smaller floor space, you'll get less stock. If you've got bigger floor space, you'll get more stock. But let's look at the average store and say they would get roughly 800 pieces of stock a year. So 800 Rolexes. And if we divide that by 12, they end up getting about 65 watches per month. That's correct. Because 65, if we work back, 65 by 12 equals, it's just under 800. So that'd, you know, to be honest with you, supply's been a little bit down. So let's use that figure. Let's use that figure. So there we go. They're getting 65 watches per month. Your average Rolex AD would be getting 65 watches per month. Now, the interesting thing is, how do we work out how many watches they get? Now, very simple. What we do is, we grab the Rolex catalog. We get the Rolex catalog. And if we have a look at this catalog here, let's see how many pages they devote. See, this catalog here has got a lot of corporate guff in it. But if we have a look at this catalog, it'll very easily tell us how many. So you've got, what have you got here? Let's have a look in this catalog. This catalog itself here, we have got day date 36. That's the solid gold and also platinum. Day date 36. How many pages have they allocated? This is to the day date. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. It's got a factor of 7 pages. We then got day date 40. Let's have a look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pages. 6, 7, 8. 8 pages. We've got Sky Dweller. Sky Dweller itself there. Sky Dweller. 1, 2. So we've only got 2, 3, 4 pages. 4. Okie dokie. Very interesting, these figures here. We've got the Oyster Perpetual Lady, the date just. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages. 9 pages indeed there. So I got to tell you there, guys, this gives us some very interesting statistics. It tells us how many pages. It tells us how they're going to be divvying up the proceeds. See? So when we look at, say, something like a Submariner sub, let's have a look at this here. The Submariner, 1, 2, 3. 3 pages. 3, 4, 5. 5 pages. GMT, 1, 2, 3. 3 for GMT. We've got Oyster Yachtmaster, Yachties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. Okay, very interesting. Yachty 2. 1, 2. So there we go. We're working out the margins on these watches here. This tells us how many pieces they will be selling in this market. Explorer 2, for example, that is 2 pages. 2 pages. You've got, so this gives us our very nice ratios. Milgauss, looking at 1 page, because they've only got 2. Air King, we've got 1 page. See, this gives us vital information, okay? Vital information. It tells us how they divvy up the sports range here. So This gives us some ratios which we can use to deduct how many, for example, Daytonas, 1, 2, 3 pages to the Daytona. No, there's actually more. The Daytona has a lot more. That's right, guys. Daytona, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. Daytona's not as rare as you think. So, okay, guys, that gives us our ratios. So, basically, what we can deduct from this category here is a dealer will get 65 watches a month. 65 watches a month. And if we use these figures of how many pages they allocate, it tells us how many watches come in each month. Now the quirky thing is, this really gives you an indication of stock. It tells us how much stock comes in. That's right, guys, because this here is very, very fascinating, because if we add these numbers up, the funny thing is, guys, guess what? If we start adding these numbers up, the number of pages in the catalog represents how many pieces of stock the dealers get. Now, you've got to understand something. They're going to obviously get a higher kick of steel subs than they would of, say, platinum Daytonas. In fact, those specialty watches like the Platinum Daytona, the Meteorite dial, the John Mayer green dial, guess what? They'd probably be lucky to get one of these unicorns a year. That's right. So when we actually pull these figures back, each month they would need to get, let's have a look at this. The honest truth is they would be getting 35 day dates, day date 36, day date 40s, ladies day just, men's day just, they'd get 35, and then guess what, guys? They would be getting 30 sports. That's correct. So basically, if you look at this ratio here, 35 oysters perpetual, well, they're all oyster perpetuals, but 30 sports, 35 day just, day dates, sky dweller, etc. They use these ratios. So an average store, using this 65 figure, 65 watches, guess what? An average store would be getting 5 to 10 submariners a month. That's right. Subs. 5 to 10. So say 10. GMTs. We say GMTs 10. Steel sports. Other steel sports. We're talking Explorers. Explorer 1. Yachtmaster and Daytona. Another 10. 10, 10, 10. 30 pieces. In the 35 pieces they're getting as date just, they're getting more and more pieces, which are actually, listen to me here, they're getting more and more pieces, date just, Day dates, sky dwellers, that's class of watch. Ladies, date just. Of course, in the sports, there's no ladies. There's the Yachtmaster ladies is about it. So this gives you the ratio. So can you see how many watches per month a Rolex AD is getting? So what that means is, if a Rolex AD is getting 10 subs, you would say 3 would be steal date. Okay, it's 3 steal date a month, 3 steal no dates. You would expect a couple of the two-tones and a solid gold or two, that ratio. So as you can see, this is the numbers of watches coming in. So every month, you can see they would be getting a certain allocation. 65 watches a month, 65 watches a month, and they would be getting 35 in non-sports, 30 in sports. That's how you work out this ratio. This is the ratio. 65 watches a month. Now, the interesting thing is, if we say the average unit cost is $15,000 and they're getting 65 watches, they are basically getting just under $1 million, $1 million a month of stock. So the average AD, he's turning over about $12 million of stock. You see how this numbers work here, guys. This is how it's done. You've got to realize this is a business. So your average Rolex dealer, he would be getting 65 pieces a month. When he says he gets 1 sub, that is bullshit. He would be getting 5 steel subs a month, 5 GMTs a month. Steel GMTs. He would have to do this. Now, the thing is, guys, he's getting a lot of non-sports, 50-50. In that 35, you've also got to include the dog. Cellini. That's right, guys. Cellini. So, your average Rolex dealer is getting 65 watches a month. Okay? He is getting 800 watches approximately a year. And this gives you the idea of margins and the costs of running their business. Basically, when a watch costs $5,000, the dealer would sell it for $10,000. Now, you might say, gee, that's a great money spinner. The thing is, the Rolex dealer needs to conduct a store within a certain framework. It needs to advertise. Each store is responsible for advertising in its region. And it also needs to employ staff, train them. It's a lot of expenses. So there you go, guys. Your average store is getting 65 watches a month. This is the breakdown. You tell me what you think, guys. I want to hear from you. Now, the thing is, in good times, say the production is ramping up. Guess what? in good times, 1.2 million pieces instead of getting a lousy 800 a month. They could get up to 1,500. 1,500, divide that by 12, gives us 125 pieces of stock per month. Instead of 5 submariners, 5 sub-dates, they're getting 10. So you can see how these ratios work. So you can see how the costs are pretty well fixed costs. If they're able to handle the sales for 1,200 pieces, 125 pieces a month instead of 65. You see the ratios. And that's the important thing, guys. I hope this helps. I'm just trying to explain how many watches a Rolex dealer gets so you can understand the lies that come out of their mouth. I'm ArchieLuxury. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Continue watching the series, The Rolex Rules. I will be back soon. And thank you for watching today. Absolute Rolex liars! Those dealers, how do you know when a Rolex dealer is lying? His lips are moving. Hey guys, check out one of my best friends, Jamie Opulence, on YouTube. Just go to Jamie Opulence on YouTube. A fantastic channel from my good friend Jamie. Check it out, guys. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Guys, I want to introduce a new service to you. ValueYourWatch.com. Proud supporters of ArchieLuxury. No seller's fees, no buyer's fees. That's right, guys. This is a trading platform to buy or sell watches. You can start selling for free. That's right. We advertise our paying subscribers on Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. It's a global platform. That's right, guys. Get $50 off the annual subscription by applying the coupon Archie when you check in there. But guys, you can try this for free straight away. Guys, you can start listing watches. ValueYourWatch.com. Give it a try and tell me what you guys think of that.
All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Friend of me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Friend of me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Friend of me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck.
Like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and don't be afraid to get a paid review. $50 for a paid review. It helps me stay full-time on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one. $50 paid review. I can't survive on Google Ads. I need your support. And guys, you could also sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you to pay as little as $1 a month to keep me on YouTube. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.